Hey, welcome back to another episode of It's a Football Thing. As always, I'm your host RJ, and I'm joined by my fellow co-hosts and champion mates, Scott the Gooner and Rob the Red Devil. How are we this evening, gentlemen? I'll go to you first, Rob.
Good, mate. We've got a win. It's a happy day for me today, mate. You know, the last couple of months it's been a roller coaster, so we're in the cup and I'm happy.
Ralph in, hashtag Ralph in.
Hashtag Ralph in.
Oh, come on. We're definitely going to touch on that. Scotty, how you going, mate? Got the glasses tonight?
Yeah, good. I was telling Robbie before the show, I've been on my back a lot of the day. I gave the old ankle a good twist, so I've been on my back, phone in my face a lot of the day, so I've got a bit of a headache now, but no bigger headache than the one Arsenal gave me the other morning against Nottingham Forest. Tell you what. Whew, I know we'll get into it later, but yeah, awful.
No,
absolutely.
I was going to say, normally when you've got a headache, you need to step outside and take a walk in the forest, but I don't think that's going to help with
thank you. What about you, RJ? How are you?
Oh, mate, we're battling. Unlike the mighty Chelsea, who've been on a bit of a mini resurgence, mate, on a personal level, like you said, become one of the 100,000 million people to get COVID. Family's been battling away, and mate, just to be honest with you, this is the highlight of my week so far. Went back to work yesterday, and yeah, it's all happened on my end. So, but enough of that personal rubbish. Let's get into the football talk and welcome who's now.
Just quietly, if you are what someone looks like with COVID, you're doing well for yourself. You're still looking as handsome as ever, RJ.
Well, 600 Panadols later, and you know this is what you get, mate. This and a lot of Netflix and Cobra Kai, Rob. We're going to have to talk a little bit about that later, mate.
Oh, geez. All right, let's say hello to some of the people in the live chat. We've got Emad in here. Emad, welcome. Justin, got to love Slippy G getting knocked out. Absolutely. Look, that's something we can all agree on. George saying, good evening, guys. I can't read the font after. It's a bit blurry. Don't worry about Forest. Alex is here, evening Al. Tom from the United Pubcast, make sure you check them out. We've got Martin here. Martin's here. David is here. No spoilers on Cobra Kai.
Can't commit to that, mate. Can't commit to that.
Typical Arsenal. Dropped another banger of a kit, get knocked out of a cup competition. Look, if we lead the competition in anything, it's banger kits. That's what we're very good at. Football, not so much. And we've got Concierge. Sorry, I'm playing a little bit of... Twister of the comments. Big ups to everyone who has their team in the fourth round. Big ups to everyone whose team has won it 14 times as well. Let's start with your boys, Robbie. Just quickly, I didn't get to catch your game. Saw the score. I was secretly hoping you'd get knocked out. What happened?
Look, man, we're in the next round, and I'm just very content. That's the word for me. Going into this game for a change, I wasn't nervous. I woke up this morning, we had 5 changes to the team. I knew that Villa had full strength. You could say that they were going to go all out for this game. I was a little bit nervous only because the whole Steven Gerrard thing, only because it's happened before, i.e. when Derby and Lampard came and knocked us out. Little things like that. But look, mate, I thought the game was quite good. I know there's quite a lot of United fans out there today that were, losing their crap and whinging about this and that. For me, content is the word that, sums it up for me. I thought we started the game, especially in the first half, really good. There was a little bit of, in the middle of the first half, they had a little bit of a 5-10 minute spell where they got on top of us, created quite a few chances. I thought we ended the half well. Again, we scored within the, this year, scoring early hasn't been one of our things we've been doing. It's always been second half or really late in the second half. To score in 8 minutes, we kind of made our stamp straight away. That's what I said. That was at the part of probably our best part of the game. Credit to Villa. I thought they played well as well. They still done quite well through midfield. They created a lot of chances. I'm amazed we did keep a clean sheet. Varane was excellent today, partnering Lindelof. The Hair may have to make a few saves, not crazy clutch ones, but did have to make some. I think our biggest issue today was not being clinical. We created a lot of chances, especially on the counter attack. We had I reckon about 4 or 5 chances when there was nearly a 2-3 on one.
When you Rashford talk, Rob.
Yeah,
Rashford was much Rashford talk on
and that's the truth. Like I said, he's such a great player for everything he does off the field. But you got to you gotta call him out for his on-field performances sometimes, and he hasn't been up to scratch of late. Not just today; it's been of late. He's low in confidence, and I was the one that I was murdering him today. I was messaging the boys in our chat, and I was just like, his decision making today was terrible. So many times he should have squared the ball. So many times he should have made a pass or lift up his head. He looks lazy. Like I said, low in confidence. It's just, I don't know what's happening with him, if it's a personal thing, but at the moment, it's not working for him.
Reminds me a little bit, and I'll come to you on this, RJ. We saw Jesse Lingard at Manchester United last season, who was frozen out, had not put in a shift for United for a long while, went to another environment and was tearing it up with West Ham. He was someone that everyone was taking a serious look at. And now that he's back at United, we haven't heard about him again all season. I do wonder if, with Marcus Rashford, does he need that change of scenery now to get that confidence back? Because something's clearly not right. This is a guy who, as Robbie said, top bloke off the pitch, but on the pitch over the years has shown tremendous skill. Something's not right. Do you think it's time for a change of scenery?
No chance.
No chance, RJ? Your thoughts?
I get your logic, Scott, but I just wonder if to me, seems a part of the United fabric, and I think for years they've been trying to groom this guy into being not the next big thing, because he's not the only saviour in that team or wanting to be saviour, but I'm just not sure, because it's not as straightforward as just go out, hopefully pick up some form, then come back, because you've got to find the right destination. What happens if he goes out, gets injured, or he goes and plays in worse form? You know what I mean? I don't know if that's the right option, but what is certain is that he's certainly not delivering on what we thought, many people have thought. This guy here is a top quality player. I don't know. Like, Robbie, you know more about him. Is it a more personal thing? Is there conservatism, tactically?
No one knows what it is. Again, sure, it's low confidence at the moment. But for Scotty's argument, the big difference is Lingard wasn't used, or you said frozen out last year. It's a complete opposite for Rashford. No matter how bad or how low he's playing, he starts every single game. It would not surprise me if he starts the game on the weekend, where we're actually calling, United fans are calling now. He needs to be dropped. He needs to be pulled away from the team. Give him some time. Go have a break. Go have a holiday. Just get your confidence back a little bit, because he's playing, and he's just going the opposite way. His confidence is getting lower and lower. Every week he doesn't score a goal, or every week he doesn't complete passes, or every week he's, so it's not working on the pitch. So that's why a lot of people are saying take him off. Exactly what Tom said as well.
But what Tom's saying is that he's being lazy and he's not working hard. I don't know if, sending a player on a holiday who's not working. You should be sending the player on holiday who's working their backside off on that.
Well, apparently he's training hard, so that's why he's probably getting selected. When people are training hard and then not turn up on the day, it's a player at the end of the day, and that's what I mean. I'm sure they're trying everything to get the best out of him. Again, they're trying to, put his arm over his shoulder, give him confidence, but it's just not working.
Interesting. But look, it's a good result for you, and I know it wasn't pretty, but the alternative is what happened to my team, the Arsenal. The alternative is not being in the hat for the next round. Now, for me, I thought we were a little bit arrogant, as you said earlier today, Robbie. We're a little bit arrogant and we're a little bit naive. Forest was certainly going to be up for it. They looked, for me, like they wanted it more. And that's what gives me the absolute, I can't even say it, but it really annoys me that they wanted it more. We had Eddie Nketiah start up front, who doesn't want to stay at the club, isn't good enough to stay at the club anyway, and he still gets a start in the FA Cup. Tavares was hooked after 35 minutes or so, and we saw what went down there. I don't know if you saw, Robbie, the way he was hooked at 35 minutes. Now, to me, and I said this on a stream I was on earlier today, for everything Mikel Arteta does well, and he's been doing plenty well lately, let's make that clear. This is not an Arteta out comment. This is an Arteta learn comment. Hooking Tavares at 35 minutes like that is the right thing to do when one player in the team is just well below par and everyone else is doing really well.
Yeah, your whole team was.
Mate, he could have hooked about 5 or 6 players at 35 minutes. By doing it that way, you are then singling out a young player who does have a future at the club. Eddie Nketiah could have been pulled at 35 minutes. Rob Holding, not too bad. I actually thought he was better than Ben White on the day. But you could have hooked so many players. But he hooked Tavares publicly. I thought that was the wrong move and poor man management. But we were lackluster. We missed Lacazette up front. Even when Lacazette came on then, we couldn't even register a shot on target. So, yeah, I'm hoping it's just a blip because we've got a more important game coming up against Liverpool. So we'll have to see what happens there. Before I get your thoughts on that, boys, just wanted to acknowledge a couple of comments in the live chat. Matt joined us while we were talking United, Matt and Crazy Diamond. Crazy Diamond was saying that United ghosted their win.
No chance, mate.
Look, as long as
I'm not taking that one.
George saying, we're just seeing Rashford's limited. A bad day for him is the same day as a bad day 3 years ago. Interesting take by George, almost saying that Rashford's kind of hit a ceiling and his gaps are his gaps. Lukaku out here smashing goals while Lacazette's shooting blanks. Well, here we go. We like Lukaku again, do we, Concierge, after his apology? Good to see your fickle fan base forgives and forgets.
Hey, mate. Hey, it's business only, Scott. As long as he scores goals, who cares what he can say whatever he wants from now on, as long as he scores.
Yeah, plastic mentality, mate. But how does Nketiah, mate? He wouldn't start in many championship clubs. I agree, not good enough. Alex saying Saka will be a City in 18 months. No chance. He's Arsenal through and through. Liverpool didn't. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about this soon, Marty. We will certainly talk about this. And there's a couple of other comments that I'll leave for you guys to read in the live chat. May not publicise all of them. What did you make of that, Arjo? Obviously, you would have thoroughly enjoyed the result, Arsenal getting knocked out of their cup. They should name it after us. What did you think?
Well, what I can say is that I'm not surprised, honestly, not being too much banter here. I just thought you guys, I saw the lineup. It was good enough to beat them, but probably a little bit of arrogance there. It's a little bit disappointing that you didn't take it seriously, given that is notoriously the trophy that you do seem to care about the most, given top four is not really an endeavour for your club over recent seasons. But maybe this is a blessing in disguise for you to prioritise what's really important. But it's now, you've now just, because you've got the Liverpool Carabao Cup sort of situation, if that's a 50-50, if that goes belly up, then all your eggs are in the Premier League basket. So it's a bit of a high-risk strategy, taking a bit of a mickey out of the FA Cup. So, look, time will tell. The Tavares thing was interesting because that can go either way. It might be a bad thing in trying to sort of show him up in front of his colleagues and the fans, but equally it might be the rocket up his backside that he needs to help him, spur him on to play a bit better because he is a young player. I did see some of the game and he was pretty poor for that part of it. So was he the worst amongst the bad bunch? That's up for debate. But someone needed to be hooked, and Arteta and his not so infinite wisdom chose him. So yeah, look, not surprised. Your club likes to give us plenty of entertainment from time to time, and this just adds to the long list of laughs at Arsenal.
Spot on, Robbie. I've been pretty harsh on your team when they've had some pretty garbage results. If you want to put the boot in, mate, this is your chance.
No, look, I'm not going to put no boot in tonight. I told you, I didn't watch the whole game. I was in and out. Like, I was watching it live in and out. Exactly what you said. Forest looked hungry for it. They were chasing down every second ball. They were just running all the time. You know, you guys were all in white like Real Madrid and were playing as far as much as Real Madrid plays. So, and look, I'm going to quick shout out to our loanee, Jimmy Gardner. He had a great performance in midfield. Cracker shot, free kick, great save by your was it Leno and goals, wasn't it? I think. Yep. Yeah. So look, I think it was a deserving win on the day. Like I said, you guys didn't register a shot, and again, I'm surprised, as RJ said, for something that the Arsenal Cup, or you guys have won it the most times. I definitely thought you guys would go a little bit more deeper, considering you guys aren't in Europe this year, and you're going to go for cup runs and top four.
Look, I'm hoping it's just a blip because, I mean, I look at that, and while we're all sitting here saying we put out a really weak team still had Odegaard, Saka.
Wasn't that bad. It was weaker, but not that
against
bad.
a championship team.
Still have Ben White, Burn Leno, who's a good keeper. Kieran Tierney came on, Lacazette came on.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
we still should have beat them. So I'm hoping it's just a blip and it's one of those games that you move on from, to be honest. Good comment here from Davide on Leeds. I'm glad we didn't try too hard to win so we can focus on staying out of the relegation zone.
Maybe Newcastle should have taken that advice, perhaps.
Yeah,
they did.
World's richest club. The world's richest club suffering a third-round knockout. Whew. Robbie, they still get him
Trippier's
relegated.
debut as well, wasn't it?
I say it every week, man. I don't know if Shana's in here tonight, but
I don't think he is. He's
gonna
on.
mention maybe when we get to the transfer section, there's a few things from Newcastle there we might bring up.
Yeah, look, you mentioned Trippier's debut, RJ. I thought he played all right, actually. You can see the leadership skills that he brings in. I love that at the end of the match, he was getting up his teammates to go over to the fans and applaud them. Great way to endear yourself to your new supporters.
Could be a bit of posturing, Scott.
Well,
But
mate,
he plays the
smart.
game well.
In
man.
a world of Lukaku's and Aubameyangs, be more like Trippier and do that kind of stuff to win your fans over. Like, I think he'll improve them, and I still don't see him going down. I don't know. Anything you wanted to add on Newcastle? Or are we going to move on to Chelsea, RJ?
Yeah, not much to say, mate. Let's move on to us.
They missed the mark in the game, like Kieran Trippier when he was missed a badge when he was doing his announcement.
Just likes the colours on the shirt, that's all.
Yeah.
Let's talk Chelsea, RJ.
It was like, because we're both CFC, so it's like the Spider-Man meme where they're both pointing at each other, which one's which. So, no, it was a really nice occasion. They're a National League team. They're 5 tiers below. It was always going to be a Chelsea win. It was just a matter about by how much. And the good thing is we're able to rest a lot of key players on top of those who are already forced out through injury and COVID. And the real star of the show was the 17-year-old debutant man of the match, Lewis Hall. Now, admittedly, I only heard of him through through podcasts and listening to Chelsea Youth and just getting that sort of information and even seeing it on the Fifth Stand app. But seeing him come in out of position and playing again, an assist on his debut for Lukaku, and just completely was not taken aback by the occasion and just really stepped up. So it was really nice to see. The Chesterfield players were really courageous. They gave it their all. They scored a goal to support their 6,000 strong travelling away fans, which was a nice moment for them. But for us, we just performed really strongly against the team that we were meant to put away with relative ease. So you don't want to make too much of these games, but equally, winning breeds confidence, and confidence is what we need heading into some big games coming up against Tottenham and Manchester City, respectively.
Spot on. Speaking of Tottenham, a 3-1 win over Morecambe. They went down. Morecambe scored. I thought, here we go. Come on. And then they chucked on Harry Kane. They chucked on, can't remember who else. It might have been Moura who came on. But they rolled out the cavalry and poor Morecambe played like a few prawns there. Tell you what.
I thought they were going to stuff my multi up and end up being your team.
Mate, you know what? I think they slayed a few multis because I had a 12-legger. Arsenal were the last leg. So
Typical.
I feel your pain. That's the FA Cup action that we're going to cover for now. It was an exciting round. Look forward to seeing, I don't, but these...
It was also nice to see Liverpool as well, Scott, that they got all their players back from their illness and they got a 4-1 win against Shrewsbury, I believe it was.
Yeah, well, I wanted to come to that because we had the discussion the other week about, does Jurgen Klopp always get his way? Are Liverpool the darlings of the league? The chairman is their former chairman. I think it's Rick Parry. I forget his name, but come on, you check. I'm sure it's Rick Parry or someone in the live chat. I know he's a former Liverpool chairman. They come out saying that they can't train. They've got a COVID outbreak. fixture gets postponed. They're then good enough to play against lower league opposition and dominate, only for Klopp, and I think it's either stupidity or arrogance what he did. He's either stupid and thought, I'm going to say that we had a whole heap of false positives just for giggles, or it's arrogant in saying, I can put out the most unbelievable story of all time. I know nothing's going to happen to us. They won't touch us. We're Liverpool. We're good with the chairman. They can't do anything about it now. I actually think it's more the arrogance from Klopp. Klopp is someone who I used to love in the beginning, but the more I listen to him speak, I'm just really turned off him. Rick Parry. Thank you, Crazy Diamond. I don't know what I was saying. I knew it was their former chairman, but the odds of getting 5 or 7, I can't remember exactly, false positives, mate, there's more chance of me having the same body as Cristiano Ronaldo in 6 months' time. None. Absolutely none.
What were they saying, Scott? Wasn't it like the numbers were for this particular LCR, or I can't remember which one it was. It was like a 99.97% chance that a false positive could happen. But to have multiple ones, you'd have to, do the probability times that.
It's like
that.
0.0.
It's basically, like you said, second to none.
So for me, I think the league actually, now that Jurgen's come out and opened his mouth, they need to investigate Liverpool for this. They need to investigate Liverpool because that, to me, is clear cheating. There's no other word for it. Getting a fixture postponed to serve your interests when the other team was ready to play is cheating. It's playing the system. I don't know how you feel about it, RJ. Do you feel that...
Well, they've got to clear it. The thing is, there's a perception or a conflict of interest as well for wanting to have that postponed because obviously the injuries in AFCON, it serves their interest to want to postpone that game as long as possible to try and wait for certain players to come back. So, look, where there's smoke, there's fire. You don't know. It's always innocent until proven guilty, but why come out and say that, number one? Like, talk about Lukaku and PR blunders. That's a massive one. That's going to cause a lot of noise to your club now because there's been a few complaints. I don't think it's Des Hasler. Wasn't it Jeff Tuvey, the investigation? I think that's what he might be talking about.
Hey, man, you don't want to see me go full Des Hasler, man.
I'll tell you what, but he's got to... Look, if there's no investigation, poor Jeff Tuvey's going to be devastated. But in all seriousness, they're taking a bit of a mickey out of all of this because how many clubs have been rejected for postponements who've been honest and upfront, and now we've got a situation where there's a massive doubt on this. So, look, hopefully it comes out, and Granit Xhaka gets a red card from it, Scott. That's the...
You saw that tweet I put out?
Or the Anthony Taylor one to be Chelsea's referee for the rest of the season.
For those who didn't see it, I can't remember who it was. It's not my post. But it said like the FA are looking into Liverpool's false positives. They're coming to a finding, and they're confident that Granit Xhaka will be awarded a red card. I had to have a giggle because it feels that way at the moment.
It's like back in the day, I remember penalty Broncos.
Yeah, exactly what I thought. Yeah, exactly. That's the one, Martin. But did you see Klopp? Just quickly, but did you see? You spoke about Klopp's whining and whatever, and Emad's brought it up too. Did you see his interview earlier in the day when they were talking about the parallel between this season and last season's injuries and how they started off well but then crashed? Klopp just kept interrupting the poor bloke, and the guy kept becoming less and less confident with what he was saying. By the end of it, he just basically had nothing, and Klopp does what he does best, and massive deflection. How you going, Sportswire?
Boys, that's enough about Liverpool for now. We won't talk about that semi-final because that'll be on Thursday night's show. But we do have a couple of Premier League fixtures coming up. Let's quickly give some predictions and some early thoughts on those. We've got Southampton hosting Brentford, and that's tomorrow morning. Obviously, Everton-Leicester was postponed. But Southampton-Brentford should be interesting. I'm not sure what your predictions are for that, but RJ, you want to go first?
Yeah, it's at St. Mary's, isn't it? I believe that game.
Yeah, I think it's at St. Mary's.
Really tough game. This one really tough game, and without having the injury lists in front of me at the moment, I think the Saints will do just enough to get over the line. It's going to be, like I said, really tough against Brentford, who are pretty desperate themselves, but I'm going to lock in a Saints 2-1 win in the end.
All right. What about you, Robbie?
Yeah, look, I go with George. Took the words out of my mouth. I think this will actually be a really good game, but I'm going to go for a 1-1, sit on the fence.
Yeah, I'm going with George as well. I'm going 1-1 on this one too. I can see both teams being good enough to take something from it. Draw seems like the popular tip. Alex is going 2-2 as well. So we'll have to wait and see with this. We also then have West Ham hosting Norwich on Thursday morning. Don't forget, we are live Thursday night at 8:30. We'll probably chat about that one. I don't see anything other than a West Ham win here, and I think it'll be convincing. I'm going 3-1 to the Hammers.
2-0 Hammers for me.
Yeah, I like the same 2-0 to the Hammers as well.
Yeah.
Also on Thursday morning, we have the EFL Cup, the second leg, Spurs hosting Chelsea. The only time you're going to see me cheering for Chelsea, I want Spurs out. Make it happen.
One foot out the door already.
Yeah, 100%. But look, in all seriousness, approaching this game, I think if Chelsea are cocky or if Chelsea go in thinking the job's done, Spurs certainly have a wily manager and they have enough quality on the pitch that they could punish Chelsea. I don't see it happening, though. I think Chelsea will win this one. We won't worry about doing predictions to this, but let's just give some general thoughts on the match. RJ would love to know what you think about this one.
Well, it's a shame that the Tottenham manager doesn't feel the same amount of confidence with the quality in his squad, because the continued narrative is that they're simply not good enough, even though they've showed improvement in the league. I don't know, like 2-0, it's one of those score lines where it can provide a false positive using the theme of the night, in the sense of, is it a misleading score? It's not misleading in the sense that we're in front because we should have won, but we should have won by more. But we've allowed them to have this little bit of belief. And if they're able to score one goal, then all of a sudden, will we get a bit nervous? Can they somehow pinch a second goal and push it into extra time or whatever? The only thing that gives me a bit of confidence is that because they're going to have to come out and get a goal, it'll give us an opportunity that we will be good enough in ourselves to at least get one goal. And if we can get one goal early, I think that puts it to bed nice and early. But the longer it stays 0-0 and the more open Tottenham have to be in order to chase a goal, I think it'll still come in our favour towards the back end of the game anyway. I just hope that we start off the way we played last time, because if we do what we did the first game, we'll win again by 2-0, no problems. But Conte is an astute manager. They do have a good team. It's just whether or not will they go for it enough, or will they treat this as a lost cause, which I'm hoping they will. But Marty, maybe you can tell us, mate, and Alex, do you believe or do you just go for damage control here?
Well, Martin's
turn it up, mate. Come on.
Martin is the eternal optimist, and as Sportswise is saying, it's the hope that'll kill him. We hope. Robbie, you're neutral. You, like me, hate both of these teams. What's going to happen?
Well, I'll definitely be in the Spurs corner with Alex and Martin in the Conte corner. But look, Chelsea's not going to throw away a 2-0 head start. Put it that way for me. I'll be absolutely amazed if they throw away a lead like that. I'm actually interested to see the lineup from the Spurs. Then I think off the lineup, we'll see straight away if Conte is going to say, I don't think it's worth maybe putting a full strength in. I think one foot's out the door. That's what I'm curious to see. From that first lineup, we'll say, yep, he's going to have a go. No, he's not going to. He's probably thinking of the next game on the weekend or something like that. If I'm being honest, I can see this being maybe like a draw or possibly even a stalemate. I think Chelsea will shut up.
That's a huge loss, by the way. Son as well being injured.
Yeah, I didn't even know Son injured.
Even though he didn't turn up the last game, Rob, he was missing as well.
Massive loss.
You know what, Rob? Yeah. I disagree with you, man. I completely disagree that I think there's absolutely no way he even contemplates a weakened squad. And I'll tell you why. Spurs, quite frankly, haven't won a cup in God knows how long. I can't count that high. For him as the new gaffer coming in, what better way to endear himself to the board, who will want to back him, to the fans, and for the
I
club,
don't see him being aggressive.
to make
That's
a
the
final.
thing. I think he'll get punished if Spurs come out aggressive early on. I can see him being punished, and then it could be all over before half time.
I still think he'll play a strong team.
And Scott, but that's the interesting part. There's a strategy you got to think about here. Ever since he's come in, the narrative has been this team is not good enough. This team is not good enough. If he plays a strong team and somehow flukes a result, that goes against his very story. He wants them to be embarrassed, not embarrassed, but he wants to lose to prove a point, to say, we need better players. I told you, we're not good enough. So I think this is one of those situations where, of course, you want to win, but does he want to win in the short term or does he want to win in the long term? And this is the time to strike, the transfer market. So it'll be very interesting to see what team he comes out with, especially because Son's not there. That's a huge loss. No two ways about it.
I don't see any born competitor marching into a semi-final and just thinking, 2-0, we've lost. It's not like it's 5-0, 6-0. I think they have something to fight for here. For them, a cup final at Wembley, potentially against the Arsenal, we can only hope, would be huge. I can't see him giving anything other than 110% and demanding that of his players too. But it will certainly be entertaining viewing. We know that, that's for sure. Speaking of entertaining viewing, boys, transfer season is here. The window, typical January window, relatively quiet. But have you heard any news in relation to your clubs? Before we get into our clubs, and I'll give you a minute to think about it, just from some other league news, I have seen from Fab, he's put out a tweet saying Ajax are bidding for Bergwijn.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, I saw that too.
That there's no agreed fee, but Conte clearly doesn't rate him. I thought he might have had some kind of future in the team or could have worked his way in, but obviously not, and Conte knows best. He'd be a good signing for Ajax, I think.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
Also, some news, Brozovic over at Inter. They're talking about his
renewal
being extended.
Yeah, I actually seen a good shout. I'll quickly send Scott. He fought Newcastle, believe it or not, if Shane's here. I think a good shout, 50 million for Patrick Sheik. I think that's a player if they can get. He's not your top echelon, but he's a good enough striker. 50 million sounds good to get him there. And I think he would be someone, that would be keen on a project like Newcastle. So I think that's a fair shout out of nowhere. Look, if it's got any traction, who knows? And then the other weird one, to replace Coutinho, that's obviously now at Villa, which I thought was great business from Villa. Oscar, good old ex-Chelsea player Oscar in Toronto. Heard he's been linked to replace Coutinho at Barca, possibly.
Really? Wow, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Well, China have changed something in terms of their wage structures. So I think they've really reined in on what they're paying the foreign players. So it may be something financial where they can't give him the money that he signed for or something like that. So it will be interesting to see if Oscar, after that time away in China, still has that European football pedigree. Who knows? Dembele from Barca, there's been a few rumours about it. He's been linked to everyone under the sun, but I don't think he'll go anywhere, to be completely honest.
Me either.
I also heard continued talks with Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about this very quickly. This is heartbreaking. We were texting each other before, Rob and I, saying this is very detrimental to Lee's chances of World Cup qualification now, especially considering who else we have unavailable. So very sad for him. Top player.
Yeah, in his peak as well.
Yeah, I was going to mention Scott.
He recovers.
Yeah, exactly. But look, he's a young player. You just hope he gets his speed back and his confidence. Great shout out there, Marty, by the way, champion. Speaking of Tottenham, the link to Adama Traore continues to intensify. If they can get him, I think around 20-odd mil, I think they could do worse. What do you think?
I just don't get the whole demand for him. He's done nothing this year, literally.
Have you seen him in the gym, Rob?
Goals, yes. Mate, he needs to take up pro wrestling because as a footballer, I just think he's the most overhyped guy in the world. He should have just start selling coconut oil or something. Whatever he does, I don't know. But Not football's just not his thing.
It's a football thing, but not for him. Another one here, Dele Alli to Newcastle. I think this would be a good move. Funnily enough, I've done a football manager season with Newcastle, and Dele Alli was one of my first signings. Mate, he's tearing it up. So everyone knows football manager's a good source. I think this one could really work out. I think he just needs that change of scenery, similarly to Lingard last season. I don't know why no one's in for Lingard either. I thought West Ham or Newcastle may swoop for him, but no, nothing at this point. Do you think he'll go, Robin?
I said I think it's best for him to go because I just don't see him getting minutes with us. And I think, like as we've seen last year, his cameo at West Ham and brought him back to life. I've already said in the last few weeks, all this talk, I won't be surprised if there's barely anything in and out. Maybe a couple loan deals. Like, say, I know Axel Tuanzabi's gone to Napoli on loan. He was at Villa, wasn't getting played. A lot of people said that could have been with Slippy G because of the whole Liverpool United thing. Again, don't know. But, yeah, I think he'll go right over there in Napoli. Our young fella, Ahmad, seems like he's going to go on loan too. Don't know where. Every time there's someone looks close, it's a buckle up and someone else comes in. So, yeah, I think there'll be quite a few loan deals. Again, Martial looked like he was out the door. Now Sevilla apparently can't afford his wages. So it wouldn't surprise me if there's just no business at all.
What about Zakaria, Rob? I heard there's a bit of activity possibly. Zakaria, maybe?
Zakaria and the other guy. Again, his name's floating around. There's nothing I haven't seen anything like, as Fab said, nothing has gone crazy or no terms or nothing agreed as yet. Just rumors circling. It's gone quiet with the Neves thing from last week. I don't see much business happening.
Fair call. For us, I know that the big talk is trying to recall back Emerson Palmieri potentially from Lyon.
Which I reckon is a kick in the face for him, man. Considering so many Chelsea fans were like, he's crap, he doesn't do nothing for us. He's starting for Lyon now. They're not doing amazing, but he's getting minutes. Mate, if I was him, I'd be giving him the middle finger.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what his response is because we apparently don't have a proper recall option with him. So
you'd have to pay.
Ironically, we have to pay to get our own player back, which is a little bit of a farce in itself. But obviously, is it the lesser of two evils? Because we've got Alonso, we've got Chilwell, who's obviously the number one option when he comes back from injury. Do you go out to market, spend 30 million on Luca Dina, or do you go out there and buy someone else? And then all of a sudden you've got 3 or 4 left wing backs in your stocks, and then you're too stacked in that position. So there's a little bit of, do you flip a coin and take a risk by bringing someone like him back, or even recalling another loanee? We've got a couple of youngsters, Ian Martson, we've got Sterling as well. So for me, the safest option is to pay a little bit to bring Emerson back in, but does he want to come in? That's a whole different story. Yeah. But still, the bottom line is we can't continue just with Alonso there because we're playing too many games, too many competitions, and it's not reasonable to expect him in the system we play to just to have reliance on one person.
We'll take Kolasinac.
We'll probably take Tierney, mate. We know what Arsenal
Is he still on Arsenal's books? Wow.
There were rumours that he was training to play in the middle.
I thought he went with Mustafi like 4 years ago.
Nah.
So I'm hoping we keep Rudiger, though. That's my main thing. If we can lock him down, that would save us a lot of headaches in the centre-back area. But apart from that, Azpilicueta maybe also on the outer to Atletico or even Barcelona. So we'll see.
Interesting times. I know, look, on the Arsenal front, there's still the Vlahovic rumours flying around. If you believe all the in-the-knows, it's getting closer. Some big wages have been agreed. We're talking about $300K a week. Look, from everything you guys have told me, I was on a podcast the other week where we did some statistical analysis on him. I don't care what we have to pay him, to be honest. It ain't coming out of my pocket. If the Cronkies want to fund it. Bring him in, make it happen. We need to plan for life after Lacazette and Aubameyang. So I would certainly take him happily, and there's rumours that it's heating up. But there's just something in it that makes me feel like it's not going to happen. This feels a little bit like Uwa, and there were rumours about him. Look, 63 million, sure. Part of that...
Scott will fund it, he said.
Yeah, absolutely, from our It's a Football Thing funds. But part of that 63 mil is Lucas Torreira as well. So I would happily take the deal. He's a great player. He's an up-and-comer, and he could potentially be a future star of world football. We had Balogun go out on loan to Middlesbrough. Good experience to him. Hopefully he comes back next season ready to fire. But quiet on an Arsenal front at this point.
Yeah, it's January as well. Like, there's not normally, it's very rare to get an amazing window in January, unless you're going to play the overs, which normally does happen.
That's it. Boys, let's do some quick fires. We're good to go. I've got mine ready tonight if you want me to go first and buy you time.
I'm happy with whatever, man.
So any time Arsenal's going to come first in anything, mate, so you might as well go ahead.
All right, then I will. For me, the first one is, we're obviously all excellent husbands and fathers. What's one chore or household task that you absolutely hate doing? Like, hate?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I don't know. I'm just going to say, I don't know. The longest one for me is feeding my kids. They eat, but they take forever. Honestly, forever.
I'm calling docs. Rob,
I hate feeding your kids.
I prefer to do a bit of the cooking and a bit of the clean up than sit there and, like, I could do all that and my wife will still be feeding the kids. That's how long they take.
Oh, geez. What about you, RJ?
It's a good question, mate. I reckon probably some of the clean-up outside, to be honest. I know that's a chore that I do anyway, so it's not a shared thing because I help out inside as well, but probably some of the clean-up involved outside. So not just the grass cutting, but I'm talking about the clean-up work afterwards. So, yeah, I don't mind doing the inside stuff because air conditioning's there for me.
For me, mate, I would change 100 diapers if it meant I didn't have to mow the lawns. I hate mowing the lawns. My grass is all right. I've actually got decent turf, but I bloody hate doing it, man. It's one of them jobs. I did it this morning. As soon as it was done, I said to the missus, don't ask me to do any other jobs today. I'm done. I've done my job for today. I'm finished. I hate mowing the lawns. I know you love it, Robbie.
I love it. I love length. So, yeah, doing a bit of the outdoor stuff. Same thing. When you're finished, I love hedging up the hedges, doing the lawns, clean up the garden. I don't mind helping around the house, to be honest. I wouldn't know how to turn on a washing machine. I'm being honest. I've never
do that.
I've never done a load of washing in my life.
Ironing's a problem. Ironing, I can do it. And that's the problem. Once you work out that you can do it, biggest mistake, because then there's the lines that you can do.
I think anything with clothes, just clothes, I don't touch, and I won't, and I haven't. And I don't think my missus will let me, to be honest.
Check this.
We'll have to validate that with Sam later, I think, just to check.
Go for it.
Check this one from Marty. Tell you what, the cheek of him after one good result.
Love it.
Hey, he's not bottling it tonight, mate. That's for sure.
This good for me, mate. Hot tip: do all the jobs badly, and you'll get sacked from the chores. Not with my missus, mate. The lawns are the lawns. Although she's a trooper, she loves doing the edges. So the missus does the edges. She enjoys it. I do the lawns.
What a gentleman are you, Scott? Come on, mate. Jeez.
Mate, look, hey, I'm all for equal rights. So we've all got the right to maintain the grass, right?
Excellent.
It's not just my job. The other thing, we all know we're good guys. We're top blokes. But what's something about yourself? Like, what's a trait you have or something that you probably think isn't so desirable? I'll give you mine first to buy you time. For me, I'm a massive sore loser. Anyone that's played pro clubs with me, I'm competitive and a massive sore loser. It takes me, I struggle really badly.
Yeah, well, look, you took one out. Massive sore loser. Hate losing in all aspects of everything. But hard head as well. Being Italian, doesn't help being with a hard head. But I like to win my battle, and especially with the misses, we're the type of people we'll go at each other and we'll be like, we'll go on Google to try and prove each other wrong. And I just massive hard head, and I'll go all the way to the end of a fight, even if I win or lose. But if I lose, I always apologize. I will say that.
Hey, if we can get a Manscaped sponsorship, mate, I'd take them. They're good enough to sponsor AFTV. We're good enough to have them.
I have to grab my beard again to make that happen.
Yeah. Marty's bad habit is that he talks to Arsenal fans out like that. This one, the guy took a photo of his missus shoveling snow after a shift. Oh, he's a grub, man. After a 12-hour shift, you treat her like a queen. Treat her like a queen. RJ, I know you can't say that you're too good looking either. What would you change?
It is. It's one of my crosses I have to bear, unfortunately, being amazing. But no, look, obviously I'm a super sore loser. Everybody knows that. I try to be nice and calm and all that, but in the heat of the moment, my wife doesn't want to bar with me at all. Just stay away from me because I become ultra cynical real quick. So another thing I hate about me is, I get too emotionally invested in things. If any sport or any movie, like, before we talk a little bit about this tennis stuff and with Djokovic, and I just like bagging him out nonstop. And the guy's, look, for all intents and purposes, he's, been held against his will. And I read his transcript and the bloke's not said a word wrong. But because I don't like him because he's so good against Federer, and I'm like, no, he's terrible, get rid of him. Just get rid of him. I don't like him. So when I get too involved in something, I find it hard to step out and just be reasonable. So, but apart from that, I'm perfect. So what can I say?
That's me done, boys. They're mine too.
All right, I'll go next if you don't mind, Arj.
Go for it.
You're on mute, mate. Is this amateur hour?
There we go. Sorry, I hit the button. Considering we're a football show, I've never asked this question. What's your favourite two things about the game?
For me, I'm always banging on about the defensive side. I love a good, hard tackle. Not that you get to see them too much in the modern day. And, of course, what's sweeter than a goal from outside the box?
Yeah, I was just going to say, for me, just any long-range goal. I love a long-range goal, like a rocket. Essien Arsenal just comes to mind all the time, or a Scholes volley, but just all of those things. So for me, long-range goals, but also I enjoy watching the tiki-taka as well. So a nice built-up goal from the back. For me, there's a lot to it that I love about it. Tactical, all of that stuff. But those two are the first things.
I've gone on a different angle for me, boys. My one is the emotion. I love the emotion of football. I just love the highs. I love the lows. It gives you memories. I can, sometimes I don't remember something and I can take it back to, okay, that year we played this game and won this. Just, I've had euphoria of winning the Euros. I've had the absolute losses of losing Champions League finals with both Juve and United. We've lost, Italy's lost stuff. Just the memories and emotions that football bring. Not as a neutral as well. Just, watching that 7-1 in the World Cup. I love the emotion of football, and like I said, I get right into it. So it's a memory thing. And the other little different thing is football family, I have to say. Just especially since we've been doing this show, I love the interaction, social media, stuff like this. Talking to strangers that nearly feel like family, over something like, that everyone has in common and enjoy. So I'll say a football family as well.
Very thematic. I wish I thought about it as deeply as you have, because all of that, I love all of that. I love it, Rob, because it just encapsulates what the sport's about. I was just thinking really transactional. I'm thinking about the in-game moment. You're talking about the whole thing, so it's great.
And other quick one, boys. Favorite theme park you've been to?
I hate theme parks. I'm scared of all the big, fast rides, to be honest. Probably Wet and Wild. I don't mind just chilling in the wave pool. Chilling there in my boardies and just letting the waves throw me around. But I'm a bit boring like that.
I bet you love Wet and Wild, mate. But for me, I probably would say Universal Studios in Florida. And both of them. There's two of them that I went to. So the Islands of Adventure and the other Universal Studios with the Harry Potter world. Unbelievable experience, and can't wait to take my son one day.
No, I'd love to get
before we do your questions, RJ, and we get Robbie's answer, just want to say morning to Mo from the Blue Lounge. Big supporter of ours. Check out Mo and his content if you like some Chelsea stuff. Tim, I haven't paid Tim to do that. Big fan. Very proud. Thanks, man. Tim's a friend of mine from way back. Thanks for coming, Tim. Always nice to see you here, man. And I'll pay you later, okay? Thanks. What was your answer, Robbie?
I'll say in Australia, I'll go Movie World because I'm the opposite. I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie. So the Superman and Arkham Asylum, they were really good rides. But there's one, I don't know the name of it, but when I was in Europe, I think it might have been in Austria. We went to some carnival kind of theme park one night. No idea what it was, but it was massive, and it was it was an adults. It was only adults only. You had to be 18 and over for it, and it was just awesome.
Where's he going with this, Scott?
What
No.
kind of park
It
this
was nothing like that. But like it was just a theme park for adults only. No kids allowed. It was in the night time. And it was just wild, man. Just like all the graffiti was all like rock and
The
roll.
red lights everywhere.
Yeah, I'm sure there were some bumpy rides there. Was it called Wet and Wild by any chance?
No, it wasn't Wet and Wild. But I do remember they had go-karts there, and they were like, mate, their go-karts, I felt like I was driving a Formula One car. Crazy.
Oh, geez, RJ.
Now, Rob, I promise we're going to get some Cobra Kai theme here. Now, David said don't blow anything here. So what I will do is won't ask anything specific about the last season. What I will ask you, though, thematically, who's your favourite character in Cobra Kai? And, Scott, if you haven't got an answer, I've got another question for you.
Oh, you know what? Non-obvious one. I'm going to go Johnny. I just think he plays the part of Cobra Kai really good. And I'm not going to go for the obvious good guy in Daniel, but I like both sides of Johnny. I like how he's kind of grown into the person he's become. Look, I'll just leave it with him, but he's playing this character really, really good. I'm looking forward to it.
It's a shame that they all died in the end. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give it away. No. Just kidding. That didn't happen. But
No, I'll go Johnny.
Scott, you haven't seen it, have you?
No, mate, garbage show. I don't waste my time on that.
My answer, just quickly, is John Kreese. I think he's such a. I love it.
No, man, hard.
It's so good. But Scott, my question for you, because we're big Dragon Ball Z fans, and we've been watching that, and I got the little fella into it now, so he wants to watch it. I've told the missus. So, who is your favorite Dragon Ball Z character?
Oh, easy, mate. Vegeta.
You would say that.
He works the hardest. He's the angriest. He dislikes people. Sounds just like me. He's my man. 100%.
That's right. Fighting fit. Both angry guys. I love it. I'd probably say Gohan, mate. He's a powerful guy. Doesn't realize his strengths. So, and the last question for you, gents, football related. I'll keep it football related. Is which player from your team this season do you think has probably been unfairly criticised but has been performing really well to your standards? So someone you think has been playing well but been unfairly criticised?
Look, I'm going to go, it's not really just from my perspective. I'm going to go as a whole fan base kind of thing. People are going to be surprised. I'm going to say Scott McTominay. I know that'll make Ahmad and Tom in the chat very happy. He's not my, favorite cup of tea. I think he has his ups and downs, but he wears his heart on his sleeve. He always, he's always plays for the badge. And look, he has upped his game. Maybe he does up his game a little bit more. He's added goals to his game. Him and Fred, like I said, it's probably the sticks and stones, but I'm just going to I'll go for Scott McTominay.
Okay.
Look, it's a tricky one for me, but it doesn't fully answer your question, but I'll probably say Aubameyang. I know he's done some things that aren't right, but I also feel like he's been a victim of the system that we've wanted to play, that it's just not a good fit for him, and it's not designed to get the best out of him, and we know he can score goals. So I'll probably say that. I feel like he's been made to suffer because of the system.
Okay. And for me, I'll say Callum Hudson-Odoi, because he's someone as a natural left winger, deployed in right wing back, done a job that's been asked of him. Could do better. We expect more. He's got a lot of potential. Bayern Munich came in, floated a 70 million offer for him. He hasn't fully stepped up, but he has shown on a few occasions, including the other day with a great goal, that he's a top player in the making if he follows through with his potential. So, yeah, hopefully
you should have bitten their hands off, mate. 70 million for him is robbery because he's so overrated.
We wouldn't swap him for Saka, mate.
Good. I'm glad you wouldn't. That's brilliant. All right. Boys, it's been a big show again, as always. Even when there's not a whole heap of football on, we still find a way to talk about a whole heap of football. We will be back on Thursday evening. We'll look back on the semi-final for Spurs and Chelsea. we will do a mini look-ahead preview to Arsenal-Liverpool's match. Hopefully there's no more COVID outbreaks for poor Jurgen. And we'll look back at the Premier League action and look forward to that's coming. So plenty to do, boys, plenty of action. We're also going to put together during the stream our own Premier League team of the season so far. Alan Shearer put out one of his for the team of the season so far. We thought we'd have a quick look at that on Thursday's stream, and we would work together to put our own. So we will need your help in the live chat because we're not going to agree, that's for sure. So we'll need you to split the difference, but should get some good debate. If you are new here, please hit the subscribe button. Make sure you've liked the video. It helps us to grow, particularly with us being on the road to 500. RJ, hoping you get better, man. Continue to recover. Any closing words from you?
Not me, mate. Just a pleasure to be here. Great to hear the live chat buzzing as always, and always nice to talk to you, gentlemen.
Robbie?
I'm just smiling. I read Ahmad's comment, said no food questions tonight. I'm sorry we disappointed you.
We can maybe do only food quickfires on Thursday for Ahmad.
No, look, good show as always, guys. Great live chat. See you on Thursday.
That's it. Take care. Enjoy your football. We will see you on Thursday evening at 8:30 p.m.